Great news, we got new Assassin's Creed Shadows gameplay and info. It looks very awesome. So, want to bring it to you immediately on this channel, and then of course do a main video as well, where we go over everything and go a bit more in depth. But thanks to Ubisoft for sharing this beforehand, so I could already make something like this, now that the embargo has lifted. So now, hello everyone, Assassin's Creed Shadows drops February 14th, 2025, and we're thrilled to start offering you deeper insights into its gameplay. Through a series of posts over the next few weeks, we will bring you brand new details on combat, parkour, and exploration. Let's kick this week off with a stealth overview, while we will primarily focus on Naue, one of Shadow's two protagonists, who seamlessly blends classic assassin techniques with the quiet agility of a trained shinobi. Some of the details apply to Yasuke, Shadow's samurai, as well. We will be joined by Simon, Associate Game Director, to get additional details and insights. Okay, again, you already see the first snippet over here. Let's read the info first, and then I will show you the new gameplay. Stealth gameplay in Shadows, or first, like a new stealth philosophy. Okay, stealth gameplay in Shadows has been ambitiously overhauled in a few key areas, says Simon. First, the obvious change for AC players will be the lack of a companion eagle, allowing you to scout ahead and map out an entire location. In Shadows, players must rely on their main character's own senses and engage enemies in a more tactical, moment-to-moment manner. Observe. Both Naue and Yasuke have access to the new Observe mechanic, which delivers a fast and easy way to toggle additional information on screen. Observe allows you to identify targets, tag, and monitor enemies, and highlight lootable stashes, collectibles, quest objectives. While on a sync point, it also allows for close examination of nearby locations. The new Observe mechanic is at the core of Assassin's Creed Shadows experience. When in doubt, take a pause, observe the world around you, and only then you should decide what your next move should be. There we are. Looks awesome. So yeah, you can simply zoom in, tag enemies. Oh no! Did you see that? Skull enemy. They are back. I mean, we knew it already, but you don't want to fight this guy. At least at this moment. And then we can... Oh damn, you can like zoom in on the building as well and see a lot of yellow dots. One of them is actually a key. Which is interesting, but I'm sure these are like the small lootable chests, right? That have some resources. We see a few points over there. Okay, so this is interesting as well. If you look as Naue, first of all, amazing helmet. I really dig it. So as she gets closer to the NPCs, we see that we can like assassinate. Oh, I'm gonna remove my head for this. So we see that we can assassinate and grab this enemy, and if we assassinate him, we will instantly kill him. I'm not sure what I think about the numbers, the 28 here. It seems to go almost over the sort of icon they have here, which is interesting. But if we then continue, we see that you can also try and assassinate and grab this skull enemy, but it will not do any damage. I think that you will not be able to do this. Period. Okay, so let's continue. Eagle Vision. Naue has access to the classic Assassin's Creed Eagle Vision, which allows her to highlight the position of enemies hidden behind walls and other objects, and isolate any relevant sounds they make. Eagle Vision is more a dedicated stealth mechanic, encouraging Naue to slow down, take a moment to better visualize her enemies and relevant gameplay objects, including hiding spots. So yeah, Naue has access. This means Yasuke does not. There we go. Yeah, very, very nice. You can also tag enemies. So you're like combining it. You're combining the Observe with the Eagle Vision. Boom. Okay, so this is one of the new orange enemies. We know these are like servants. They will not attack you, but when they will like call for reinforcements and stuff. So you still want to take them out, but again, you can also grab enemies and then knock them out for a non-lethal approach. Maybe you're like, okay, I'm not gonna kill these servants because they didn't do anything wrong. They're just doing their job. So, yeah, they won't attack me either, which is kind of a fun new mechanic. We got another one of those. So, yeah, they're working. As you can see, they're like... So, yeah, pretty cool. And very powerful. But again, Yasuke does not have this. Both Observe and Eagle Vision work independently, revealing different sets of information, but Naue can combine both concurrently to reveal, observe, and tag enemies through walls. A very useful habit to have if you don't want to blunder into a room full of samurai awaiting for you. Shinobi moves, hiding in the shadows. For the first time in the Assassin's Creed series, hiding in the shadows will make you invisible to enemies. During nighttime, any pocket of shadows becomes a dynamic hiding spot in which you can progress without being seen. This applies to both interiors and exteriors. The ability to use shadows in this way invites you to carefully study your environment for hiding opportunities and routes, or create them for yourself by destroying lanterns with a shuriken. Naue is a perfectly capable shinobi in broad daylight, says Simon, but the cover of darkness gives her a remarkable edge over her enemies, especially on higher difficulty settings. So basically, when playing on, I'm not sure if they will have Nightmare, but the highest difficulty at launch, yeah, being in the dark, of course, means that everywhere you go that is not in the light, you are instantly invisible, which kind of OP. We, of course, also know you cannot change the time of day, so you can be like, okay, this mission looks very tough. I'm gonna ride around first because it's still in the afternoon. I'm gonna ride around first, do other activities, and then when it's night, I'm gonna tackle this main mission. Curious if that is what will actually end up happening, but yeah, it is interesting for sure. Staying low. While Naue is fast, sprinting while you are attempting to be stealthy in a highly populated environment can be risky. The sound of footsteps will alert guards, who will spot you almost instantaneously. In general, standing up increases your visibility, so this is where crouching comes into play. Naue can move quite slowly while in a crouch, with the sound of her footsteps considerably reduced. I love how you hear their wood. And actually, that's also awesome. When you move, you actually see the sound your footsteps make. In terms of like a circle around it. So yeah, that's a pretty cool touch that you also can see the sound you're making by looking at the sort of sound waves that you're, yeah, under your feet. Like crouching is also particularly effective indoors, minimizing the sound of nightingale floors, and specifically designed floors that creak whenever someone steps on them, for example, or the chance of reducing the chance of bumping into noisy objects. Going prone. Naue and Yasuke are the first protagonists being able to go prone in the series. Going prone reduces your visibility to enemies even further, whether on the ground, on rooftops, or underwater. So yes, we now also learned Yasuke can go prone. We have not seen that in action yet. On the ground, on rooftops, and underwater. That's awesome. We already saw Naue on the rooftop once, kind of scouting the area. For Naue, going prone comes with its own set of movements. Cool. By pressing the dodge button when in prone, you can roll to the side, front, or back. A useful maneuver to quickly employ when a guard approaches. Keep an eye under the buildings too. You might find an opening you can crawl under. Again, and that's awesome that Yasuke can do that as well. Well, obviously, he has way less other movement abilities, like not having the grapple hook. Makes, of course, sure that he's on the ground. But he can still go prone, and yeah, he will make way more sound when he does. Okay. Yeah, that's awesome. So, again, you go prone, do the dodge button, and suddenly, boom. You're behind the enemy. That's awesome. I'm really curious how many of these prone assassinations there are. Klutz. That's awesome. But yeah, I don't think Yasuke can do this. So while Yasuke can just chill, he can just lie there. He cannot assassinate the enemy. Oh. Awesome. The Shinobi and Assassin arsenal. Naue doesn't have to rely on her stealth moves alone. She has 4 primary tools at her disposal to help ensure a quick kill or getaway. Smoke Bomb, a classic assassin tool that creates a cloud of smoke, allowing you to escape or assassinate low-rank enemies without being seen. So it seems to work kind of similar to what we saw in Mirage, where you could also instantly kill all the low-rank enemies, like the regular soldiers, while the tough, heavy guys... It was still, like, very powerful, because those heavy guys would be like, oh, I can't see anything, and then you could hit them from the back. But so far, it seems to be working the same. I think low-rank enemies does not mean level, because that would be interesting if you can only one-hit assassinate, or, the enemies that are below your level. I think low-rank enemies means the regular foot soldiers, so no matter their level, maybe. Unless they're skill level, of course. But maybe I'm getting too in the weeds. We will see. The Shinobi Bells, the perfect tool to distract enemies. By throwing a bell, you can lure guards away from their post, or create an opportunity to sneak past them. So yeah, basically the noisemakers that we had in Mirage. Kunai are extremely sharp throwing knives that deal a lot of damage and can result in one-shot kills when aimed with precision. And then we have the Shuriken. So Shuriken are sharp, star-shaped throwing weapons that momentarily stun enemies, and are even more useful when thrown into the environment to cause a distraction. Okay, so we were always like, what is the difference between the two? Seems like kunai are really similar to, again, Mirage, the sort of throwing knives that Basim had as well. Seems like you will be able to one-shot kill enemies with it. In Mirage, it of course depended on the enemy, and also if you had upgraded the tool where you could, like, of course, charge it and then kill the enemies instantly, the tougher ones as well. So Shuriken, we know you can also... Yeah, so Shuriken might also be more helpful in combat. To just be like, whoop, then interrupt the enemy, and then you can, like, perform a nice combo. I think that would be kind of cool to try. And yeah, we also know you can throw multiple at once. So maybe that does kill an enemy. But I can't wait to try them. Okay, we're going for the smoke bomb. Okay, that's so clean. I love the sort of move she does from the rooftop. Whoop. Yes. Yeah, we of course know that just like in Valhalla, you have assassination animations while running that are different. Yeah, she just jumps on the enemy. Like, that's so cool. And then, roll, and we did not lose any momentum. It is interesting that these enemies are running out of the smoke. So, that is interesting, right? That this enemy's like, what the heck? So, I'm really curious if that is because the enemies here, they see the smoke bomb or are, like, further away from it. And then the enemy that is really... Yeah, I mean, it lands right in front of his feet. That enemy gets, like, caught and is stunned, while the other ones are, as you would normally do when you are hit by a smoke bomb, run out of the smoke, right? Because, again, it has a radius, so you can't get out of it. But that does make the smoke bomb less powerful than in a Mirage, where everyone was, like, standing still and... That's pretty cool. Like, these... Like, you cannot assassinate the other ones. You cannot, like, really do an insane combo. It is interesting, though, that nowadays, like, I'm not even gonna bother with these other, like, regular enemies. And they're not servants either, I think. Because they have a weapon. So, interesting stuff. Looks cool. Yeah, here. So, okay. Some enemies will not be easily tricked by your smoke bomb. More below. Awesome. Okay, let's read. New ways to hide and kill. Naue is our smartest assassin to date, says Simon, and she uses that to her advantage. She can squeeze through tiny wall cracks. She can hide inside small storage spaces and boxes in order to get the drop on her enemies. Double assassination. We know that players are always looking for efficiency in their stealth runs, and this is why we're bringing back double assassinations in Assassin's Creed Shadows. By equipping the Tanto as your main weapon and unlocking the dedicated skill, you can eliminate 2 enemies standing next to each other at once with your hidden blade, whether on the ground or from the air. So yeah, that's of course a really interesting, that's one of the systems that I'm most curious about. That I kind of like the idea that they're making the weapons, like they're adding way more depth to the weapons, and by using the weapons, it seems that you earn mastery points or something like that, XP, that you can then use in that weapon skill tree, and then unlock skills like the double assassination, which is awesome. Like, and it also means that if you don't equip the Tanto as your main weapon, you cannot do the double assassination, and that really means that for the first time, the melee weapons actually matter for the assassination, for the stealth as well. So you can have a stealth loadout that doesn't only have like armor pieces that give you some perks. No, it's also, okay, but you can have 2 weapons that you can switch between. What will those weapons be? Because they will give you different stealth capabilities, which I really like. So they made some last minute changes and removed this one. I really hope they still send it, and if I get it or something, I will show it, because I was really excited for this, but we sadly don't have it right now. Grabbing enemies. While undetected, you can briefly grab and drag enemies in any direction to silently assassinate or take them down non-lethally. This grab mechanic removes some of the automation we had in the series before. In Shadows, if you want to assassinate someone from a stalking bush, you have to manually grab them, pull them in, and only then you can dispatch them. Like, let me know if you will do this. I don't think I have the patience to do a full run where I grab every enemy and then knock them out. But it is cool that the option is there. I think I will just go, at least for my first playthrough, for the assassination. But let me know in the comments if you are going for a non-lethal playthrough. I want to know. That is not all. While we cannot cover everything in this article, know that there will be more stealth opportunities to discover once you get your hands on the game, including Volant Stalactites, distracting guards in the winter. So these are like the frozen sort of spikes that can drop down, or swift assassinations through Soji doors. We of course have seen these already. I hope there are more that they haven't talked about yet. Enemy tactics. So while you have plenty of ways to hide and eliminate your targets, enemies will respond in ways that will make your life more difficult when you make mistakes. So this is about the servants that I already talked about. Servants, for example, are a new type of non-lethal enemy that will alert guards upon seeing you. While they can't fight, their ability to call reinforcements and raise alarms make them just as threatening as enemies who can. Servants have their own patrol routes, so it's important to keep tabs on them. When using Eagle Vision, they will stand out, appearing in orange. When infiltrating heavily guarded positions, such as castles and fortresses, different districts each exist as their own individual arenas. This means that, should you get caught in one pocket, you can still recover, re-engage, and keep your stealth run going without having an entire location bearing down on you. That's really awesome. So, in an outpost, you basically have multiple arenas, meaning if you screw up in one arena, you still are able to start fresh and go for the stealthy approach again when you reach that next arena. Suspicion and investigation. If you get detected and are able to disappear again, enemies will search for you in pairs, one watcher and one seeker, and will remain more suspicious going forward. That means that tactics such as whistling to lure them in will only increase their suspicion and thus their ability to spot you. This can have an impact on your ability to assassinate from a hiding spot, as these suspicious guards will be more likely to get in the way if you're not cautious enough. That's awesome. It seems like they are right now saying so. Well, first, and it was always kind of weird. Okay, you get spotted, so enemies know there is someone in the area, right? And then you disappear, they're like, it must have been the wind. Or they know you were there, but because you were, like, you're hiding, they are just losing track. They're not going to search for you anymore. Seems like in Shadows they will, which is awesome. And what is also cool is that they will be more, like, you cannot probably do the whistle tactic. If you first were, like, whistling, as an enemy goes to the bush, assassinate, whistle, whistle, you get alerted, then return to the shadows, then, yeah, do the whistle tactic again, it won't work. Or at least will not be as easy. So that's pretty cool. We of course have to see this in action, but it sounds pretty awesome. Unique enemy behaviors. Focus on the samurai. Certain enemy archetypes will present unique challenges to your arsenal. For example, samurai cannot be assassinated when caught in a smoke bomb, as seen in our clip above. I don't have that clip. Instead, they will quickly evade the smoky area. So, basically what we saw with the other enemies as well. This contrasts with the Ashigaru soldiers, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, or the servants, who can be assassinated in smoke. Samurai are also more prone to deny assassinations. They can even slice bushes when searching for you, which removes options to hide. It all sounds really awesome. It all sounds great, but we are still in the talk, don't show. We have some new clips, of course, but this is all stuff that you just want to experience while playing to really see if it really matters a lot. Samurai are fearsome enemies and cannot be taken lightly, says Simon. Once alerted, they are hard to trick or lure, as they can assume that any tricks you use are just that, a trick to lure them. This will force you to adapt and think harder about how to get the drop on them. So again, it really seems that once you are alerted in Shadows, you will not be able to use the same tactics as you were able to use when you were approaching a situation for the first time in Stealth, which is awesome. But every challenge brings new opportunities, and smoke bombs can become an effective tool to disperse samurai if you're looking for a quick escape. So again, they will run out of the smoke, so will give you time to go away. But it really seems that smoke bombs are way less OP than in Mirage, which is great. Assassination denied. Through Shadow's progression system, it's important you focus on developing your stealth skills and abilities. Enemies will have levels based on their archetypes and region, so if you neglect Assassin Hidden Blade upgrades, you may find that strong enemies can completely deny your assassination attempts. Basically, what we also had in Origins. In Odyssey, it of course was based on your assassin damage, and in Valhalla, it was also based on, I think, your assassin damage and, yeah, the level between you and the enemy. But as we saw, you will be able to see it, and we will see that in the clip here in a moment as well. When you can assassinate someone and when you cannot. When approaching a target, a white assassination prompt indicates an Insta Kill. Yellow means that you will deal some damage, and red signals that the enemy will completely deny your attempt. So that's what will happen with the skill enemy. When it comes to assassinations, progress and context work in hands, says Simon, okay? Invest in perks that increase your assassination damage and test things around. A strong enemy may survive a frontal assassination, but may die from a sneaky air. That is so awesome. Okay, so the direction on how you assassinate the enemy differs as well. Cool. I love that. I love that. And yeah, we have them say perks. Invest in perks that increase your assassination. So yeah, there will be obviously better assassination builds for Nawe probably that you can focus on. Okay, so this is the yellow, so then you will only do some damage. You still see how much when approaching. 2 bars. So it seems to be based on bars. Again, we don't have damage numbers in this game. I still hope you can turn them on. I know I'm the only one who wants that, but I will keep asking. So yeah, that's pretty cool. But yeah, then you want to upgrade your hidden blade skills and assassination damage.
I saw you coming.
I don't know how, but how did you see? How did you see her coming?
I saw you coming.
But I love the unique animations because, of course, we had this in other games as well. So basically, every time you were unable to instantly assassinate a target, you would see the same animation, and then bam, a damage number, and then yeah, the leftover amount. But they really made unique animations for these samurais who are like, no, you don't even deal any damage. I saw you coming, or neglect. I love the weapon they have, by the way, like a spear, and the sort of helmet here. That's awesome. I mean, we of course know in Valhalla everyone was like, oh, the Vikings have these horn helmets, and then we learned no, that is actually not true. And then in Shadows they do have the horn helmets, which is awesome. But yeah, I'm kind of scared. I overall am kind of scared of the skull enemies. We've seen a lot of them. And skull enemies were no fun in Origins and Odyssey. In Valhalla, you were able to take them out. I'm curious if they if it's gonna be fun. By the way, I'm seeing rivals here. Can you like pick them up? That would be cool. Can now it and use it too. Lots of things, lots of interesting things. And they also note here that an option in the menu allows you to insta kill on all enemies. So if you don't wanna, I mean, I think it's cheating, but yeah, if you like the older Assassin's Creed games, and of course the RPGs like Valhalla had this as well, with the minigame. But I think there was an option to remove, like, just have the insta kill. Anyway, so if you want that, it's still in the game, but obviously you are like bypassing some progression elements. And I think it's pretty cool that the samurai are like, no, you can't instantly assassinate me. Stealth and Yasuke. While Yasuke is very much built for direct close quarters combat, he can still be stealthy when equipped with his bow. Using this ranged weapon, you can engage enemies from a distance without ever needing to draw your katana. That's awesome. Let's have a look. Okay, lots to talk about. The quiver is enormous. And you kind of have a... Oh, I love his hairband. You kind of have a charge or something, like... Zzz, bling! I mean, he already one-shot kills them the moment he aims for the head. So I'm curious if it's like... It feels like there's like a timing involved. Bling. And there's a slow motion that you can probably do as well. But yeah, this is the only way you can be stealth with Yasuke. Obviously, he has a rival too. But yeah, that will make a lot of sound. I still want to see his like assassinations, because he will just be yelling and stuff. So, can't wait to see that. If players are careful and deliberate, Yasuke can also slip behind foes and deliver a devastating assassination with his melee weapons, blending stealth with a more direct combat approach. We will have more on Yasuke's skills on the next combat deep dive. Yeah. We hope you enjoyed this look at some stealth features you'll be able to play around in Assassin's Creed Shadows. Stay tuned for our next overview, where we will focus on combat. And this, by the way, that roadmap. So we now had stealth, combat, parkour, exploration. Of course, if you want to see more videos like this, and also keep it locked to the main channel for a more concise video. Yeah. Stay tuned, subscribe, leave a like, that would really help me out. And this got me more excited. This looks awesome. I also made a video where I just show you the gameplay clips after each other. If you want to see that, you can watch that by clicking on the screen. I will speak to you soon. Goodbye.